personal Facebook, live on Twitter. All right, guys, we're going to get rocking and rolling shortly. Not live yet on I Love CVille Facebook. Live on my personal Twitter, J-Dubs. Live on my personal Facebook as well. Personal Facebook is what, 6,500 people? Not quite yet live on I Love CVille Facebook, though, where we have 7,300 followers.
It should be up now.
All right, I'll confirm I Love CVille Food here in a second. I Love CVille Food Facebook is live. I Love CVille Food Facebook has 7,500 plus followers on it. I'm going to hit @followers in the comments section, which will notify all 7,500 plus followers on the I Love CVille Food Facebook page that we're going live. We are, in fact, live on the I Love CVille Facebook page where we have 7,300 plus followers. If you want to follow a page on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, that's tied to our network, follow me personally, Jerry Miller Now, or follow the I Love CVille Facebook page. We also have a group. I will confirm the group. And we are live on the group. Good work, Judah Wickower. I'm going to @ everyone on the group and give them a tap on the shoulder that we're going live. Like and share the show. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but there is momentum and progress on a Cherry Avenue grocery store. I don't want to be a doom and gloom guy. I want Cherry Avenue to have a grocery store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so do I.
I want Cherry Avenue and Fifeville to have a grocery store. I really sincerely do. I just think that raising $4 million and opening in the fall of 2027 is not fool's gold. I mean, is it fool's gold? Put it in perspective what that is.
I mean, that involves, I don't know how much of the build-out of any of this is going on.
The only thing that Woodard is providing is the shell.
Oh, I know, but how close is the shell to being done?
To being done?
Yeah.
No, not close.
Well, that's a major factor, I would think.
Well, okay, touche. So you're saying fall 2027, you can't look too much into it, that it's basically 2 years away because they don't even have the shell built.
Yeah, I mean,
and they still have to raise the $4 million.
Yeah, and I believe it's $3 million for the build out, and then they would have to provide shelves, coolers, freezers, whatnot. And so I don't know. They're trying to raise $4 million. Is the $1 million above the $3 million going to be enough to get all the required materials?
You know the song "The One That Got Away"? That's what this reminds me of. Katy Perry's song, "The One That Got Away." I may sing it on the program today.
That might help because I'm not very aware of that song. I haven't listened to a lot of Katy Perry songs. Sorry.
You're not a Katy Perry fan,
Jay.
Judah Wickower?
I'm not a fan. I'm just, yeah.
Like and share the show, viewers and listeners. Which headline most intrigues you and why, Judah?
I mean, Tom Perriello making a comeback.
Unbelievable. Tommy P.
Car washes seem to be big business everywhere.
More details on the deal flow with private equity scooping up car washes in Charlottesville and in Zion's Crossroads. We can offer a little more perspective on the deal flow on that topic on today's show. Like and share the show, viewers and listeners. We're going to have some fun today. We'll talk Virginia sports as well. A lot we're going to cover on the broadcast. Let's rock and roll, Judah, when you're ready.
Quiet on the set.
Good Tuesday afternoon, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and thank you kindly for joining us on the I Love CVille show. A pleasure to connect with you guys through the I Love CVille network, the water cooler of content and conversation in Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia. So much to cover on the broadcast, including a Cherry Avenue grocery store back in the news, a fall 2027 target date for this grand opening, a co-op selected to run the grocery store, and now a mere, is it $4 million that needs to be raised?
That's what they're trying to raise.
To make this grocery store in CVille a reality. I am not a doom and gloom guy, and I want the CVille neighborhood, who most certainly is smack dab at the middle of a food desert, to get its own grocery store. I absolutely do. Okay? But this grocery store, I hate to say this, it reminds me of Katy Perry's song, The One That Got Away. Summer after high school, when we first met, we used to make out in your Mustang to Radiohead. And on my 18th birthday, we got matching tattoos. Used to steal your parents' liquor, climb to the roof, talk about our future like we had a clue. Never planned that one day I'd be losing you. CVille, I'm worried that you're going to be losing you, the grocery store. We'll unpack the deal flow today on the I Love CVille show, and we may even encourage Judah Wickower to croon Katy Perry's The One That Got Away on today's edition and today's episode of the show. A lot I want to cover on the broadcast, including Tom Perriello returning to the big show, the 5th District, Tommy P, back in the big show. Private equity, a little more insight into the deal flow as a big-time private equity firm tries to scoop up, or is scooping up, has scooped up car washes locally in Charlottesville and Zion's Crossroads. This private equity firm has got a number of car washes under their belt. We'll offer a little more perspective on that deal flow now that the news is out in the news cycle, and we could speak a little bit more freely. The hemp business is getting hammered, ladies and gentlemen, after a ban in government spending. We'll put that into perspective for the viewers and listeners. We'll ask you this question: what's the best food to eat on a snow day? Jude, I think may say soup. You know,
Maybe.
a lot we're going to cover on the broadcast, and I want to highlight this football and basketball program at the University of Virginia, one of 7 schools, ladies and gentlemen, in the nation. UVA is one of 7 schools in the country to be ranked in the top 25 in both football and basketball. The economic impact from success in football and basketball is as significant as any drivers of the economy, except, ladies and gentlemen, for tourism, the real estate sector, biotechnology, and AstraZeneca. Few other things locally can compare to a football team that's pursuing 11 wins and then heading directly into a basketball season that is looking like they could make a run for an NCAA tournament appearance and a deep run after getting the invitation. You combine a football season with a basketball season, and you got 9 months of the year. 9 months of the year: September, October, November, December. September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 7 plus your recruiting momentum that's bookending in the beginning and end of these 2 seasons. You're talking 9 months of economic impact from success on the gridiron and on the hardwood. We'll unpack that today. A couple of items out of the notebook that I didn't have a chance to put in the rundown. Judith and I did not have a chance to put in the rundown. There is a fantastic article in the Cavalier Daily. There's actually a lot of great coverage in the Cavalier Daily. The independent student newspaper, the Cavalier Daily, has really stepped up their game. I mean, frankly speaking, I don't want to sell them short. I went to UVA. I've lived in this community for 25 years. The Cavalier Daily has always been strong. The editorial staff they have in play right now is all-stars. They're all-stars. And there's 2 items of news on the homepage of the Cavalier Daily today that I encourage you to read. The first one is some insight into how 3 local Charlottesvillians saved the Violent Crown movie theater from destruction. And it's a lot of color and a lot of background that was not previously reported. It's very good journalism. And a second article that I encourage you to read is the coverage of interim President Paul Mahoney speaking before the Board of Visitors on his agreement with the Justice Department and why he pursued that agreement. Both are fantastic pieces of journalism from the independent student newspaper, the Cavalier Daily. I'd like to highlight John Vermillion and Andrew Vermillion of Charlottesville Sanitary Supply. 61 years in business for the Vermillions, soon to be 62. The Vermillion family has lived in Albemarle County for 5 generations. And their family business, Charlottesville Sanitary Supply, has been run by the Vermillion family for 3 generations. They have a fantastic e-commerce website, charlottesvillesanitarysupply.com, and their physical location on East High Street is the epicenter of education when it comes to anything cleaning, swimming pools, sanitary, commercial cleaning, vacuums, Miele vacuums, repair, mechanic on site. And we're on the cusp, our firm and their firm, of a major announcement with a new division at Charlottesville Sanitary Supply about to come to market that is going to gain rapid market share. Ladies and gentlemen, Spencer Pushard, thank you for liking the show. If you appreciate what we do, like and share the show. Ginny Hu, thank you for the retweet. John Blair, thank you for the like on LinkedIn. Kevin Yancey, welcome to the broadcast. We appreciate you watching the program. A snowy Tuesday in downtown Charlottesville. Studio camera Judah Wickhauer. We welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
We thank you for your participation and your commentary. And I am reminded again of the Katy Perry song, The One That Got Away, when it comes to this Cherry Avenue grocery store. This grocery store is like the boyfriend or girlfriend that we have all met in middle school, elementary school, or high school, whether it's first love or second love. It's strong, it's a deep connection. Then you guys go your separate ways. Maybe it's to college, or maybe it's working post-high school graduation, and perhaps you rekindle after some time apart. Maybe it's on awkward eve, the night before Thanksgiving, Wednesday night, which is the biggest bar night of the year, the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. Next thing you know, you're in Williamsburg on awkward eve at the Paul's Deli or the Greenleaf Cafe, drinking Natural Light pitchers, and your high school girlfriend walks in and you haven't seen her in a year or two since you went to UVA and she pursued college outside of the state of Virginia. You have a conversation or two, you rekindle, you decide to catch up on Black Friday, you have a fantastic weekend post-Thanksgiving, you text for the remainder of the semester, you see each other over Christmas break, next thing you know, you don't see each other again for years. Randomly, you see each other again while walking Duke of Gloucester and Williamsburg. You rekindle again, and then you wonder, like the grocery store in CVille, about the one that got away. Okay, now that's some hyperbole.
Is that a movie with?
No, that's
one of the Hollywood Chris's.
That movie features yours truly with some tremendous hyperbole added, because I can speak with confidence, conviction. The one that did not get away is my wife, the mother of our 2 children, who is absolutely the right partner for our family and is holding down the fort right now on yet another snow day with the Miller Maniacs. They were out of school, was it Friday for snow? Out of school Monday for snow, now out of school today for snow. Parents all over Albemarle County and Charlottesville City are pulling their hair and saying, get these children back in the classroom. But I want to talk Katy Perry, I want to talk Cherry Avenue, I want to talk CVille and this grocery store. Is the CVille neighborhood saying, I used to steal your parents' liquor and climb to the roof, talk about our future like we had a clue, never planned that one day I'd be losing you in another life. I would be your girl. We keep all your promises. Be us against the world. You're the one that got away. Fall of 2027 for a grand opening for this grocery store. They have to raise $4 million, but we have new details. Judah Wickhauer, set the stage for the viewers and listeners.
The choice has been made, and someone has been chosen. That someone is the Charlottesville Food Co-op. It's been a year-long process. And
insane. A year-long courtship.
Yeah. Hearing from residents what they want in a grocery store. Not only are they looking to raise $4 million, but part of that, if approved, will be to sell shares or memberships to locals, so that they can become part-time owners of the store. I don't know what that part owners, not part-time owners. I'm not sure what that would entail. I don't know if that means you get discount on your groceries for as long as the grocery store is around, or if you get dividend. But
What do you get? Dividend on a iceberg lettuce head? Dividend on a box of Cheez-It Grooves? Dividend on a 6-pack of Minutemen IPAs? Emperor of Clouds?
You'd take that deal.
Hell yeah, I'd take that deal. Dividend on some Neapolitan Ben & Jerry's? Or some fish food? Some Smithfield bacon? Oh, dude, give me the dividend on the Kites Country ham. You don't like the Kites Country ham on a biscuit with some butter?
Salty.
Oh, I love the salty. Just give it to me. I'd rub my body with the salt.
Oh, my goodness.
Not just douse it on the driveway, and I'd swim in some eggnog afterwards. Goodness gracious, where do we begin on this grocery store? First, some obvious, okay? The projected opening is fall 2027.
Yeah.
We're talking 2 years from now. That's the obvious thing. Okay, so the news that's broken here, the breaking news here is this. There is a co-op that's been selected to now run the grocery store. We all thought this was a dead story, but there's legitimately a co-op locally that has said, A, pick me, put their hand in the air, and B, sign on the dotted line to be the operator of a grocery store in a food desert in a historically marginalized and forgotten community.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first piece of news. The second piece of news is this operator has identified the fall of 2027 as a grand opening date. 2 years from now. That seems pretty far. A lot can happen in 24 months. We certainly saw that during COVID and the pandemic.
Especially considering the building isn't even built yet.
Especially considering the grocery business is a dying business. The in-store grocery business. We disagree on this, you and I on that. Okay? But we all know that we can agree on this. The grocery business is a penny pinching, very little margin business. You give me that.
Yeah.
Okay. Another piece of news that's now out there. This co-op, which is which firm? Which organization?
Charlottesville Food Co-op.
The Charlottesville Food Co-op. They need to raise how much money?
$4 million.
4 million smackaroos. 4 million smackaroos.
Estimated.
I'm going to tell you right now. The CVille Food Co-op, which you can find online, CVilleFoodCoop.com, a community-owned grocery store with fresh produce sold at a fair price in the heart of Charlottesville. I'm going to the About page and I will read some details. The steering committee is a multiracial, multi-generational, multi-talented group of about 15 community members. About 15. That means less than 15. Why a co-op? A grocery store owned by the community can prioritize and pursue our goals of fresh food at fair price, community engagement, and community wealth building. Then they have a little video on what's a co-op. Then they have some details on what's wealth building. I want the message that I'm relaying to the community in front of thousands of people literally right now to be this. I want the CVille neighborhood to have its own grocery store. I'm hopeful for you. Okay? I also, as a parent who's now in the business of setting expectations for children, our 2 boys, I encourage the CVille neighborhood to not fall victim of Katy Perry's The One That Got Away. Or the young lady or the young man that you fall in love with in elementary school, middle school, high school, that is in and out of your life throughout your life. Because that's what this grocery store is. That's what this grocery store is for CVille. Years we've been talking about this. Have we not?
Yeah.
And Woodard's made it very clear Anthony Woodard's team has made it very clear. Keith Woodard's team is very clear. We'll give you a shell. The shell of a building. And you're responsible for outfitting that shell. It's not even going to resemble a grocery store. We'll give you a box on Cherry Avenue. And then you have to outfit it. And in 24 months, this world, this is not hyperbole, is going to look very, very different. Goodness gracious, think about what this world was like 24 months ago.
Yeah.
24 months ago, weren't we just getting out of COVID?
Pretty much.
Comments are coming in. John Blair, number one in the family. His photo on screen. He says, you're going to talk snow day in a second. The best snow day food, in my humble opinion, is spaghetti. And then he's offering some perspective on media locally and wants us to rank the CVille legacy media institutions. We will get to that topic in a matter of moments. I actually have been doing some business with Lee of late, Lee Enterprises, in their pursuit of potentially a new location. Deep Throat, number one in the family. His photo on screen. He offers some color on this co-op on Fifeville, on Cherry Avenue in Fifeville. Typically, you get a rebate from being a co-op member. In my experience, it has come out to like 1 to 3% of my annual spend. So not really much at all. You join the co-op because you support the mission.
Yeah.
But frankly, the fact that they need $4 million, it's like saying, I'm going to space because you found a pilot and all you need now is a launch vehicle. On the other hand, all it takes, as we learned from Saving of the Violent Crown, is one rich heir or heiress who shares the vision.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of rich people around here, that's for damn sure. I've been told by someone in the know that per capita, there's more billionaires living in the Charlottesville area than in any other area. Billion with a B.
Wow.
Per capita is the key word. Per capita.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk 1 to 3% rebate of your annual spend. Our grocery budget per week, my wife and I, one of our friction points on this, and she says to me, what do you want me to do? This 7-year-old and 3-year-old are eating us out of house and home, and they only continue to eat more. I'm like, what do you mean they're eating more? Jerry, they're growing, they're getting bigger, their appetites are larger, their stomachs are bigger, they're eating more. Okay, sweetheart. Let's call it $225 a week. Let's times that by $52, 52 weeks. That's $11,700. 225 times 52, 11,700 times 0.03. You're talking a yearly rebate at the top end of 3% of $351. So that gets you a week and a half of grocery coverage in this co-op model.
I mean, isn't 1 to 3% typically what you get from a cashback card?
Cashback card is in that. If you get a cashback card that's giving you 3% on all your spending, that's a phenomenal cashback card. The 3% is normally on select categories of spending. They also have other cashback cards that offer 1.5 to 2% on all spending, but 3% is generally on a select category like restaurants or gasoline or online shopping.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you spend $225 and you get 3% rebate, $225 a week times 52 weeks is $11,700, and you get a 3% rebate, that's $351. What you're not realizing in this grocery co-op model is the price points are higher. This is going to be far from affordable. This is not going to be the price points that are synonymous with shopping in the center of Wegmans or at Food Lion, which we've dubbed the shitty kitty, or at Trader Joe's.
That's where I buy most of my food, you know.
I'm not hating on you. It's a friendly moniker. I kid because I care. Would you say there's elements of Food Lion that leave a little bit to be desired?
Yeah, definitely.
Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah, there's no there's no fresh meat department where you can go and get a specific cut of something.
Anything
Among
else
o-
you want to highlight?
No, I'm just saying as an example. You're
Okay.
right. You're right.
There's elements but the value proposition of Food Lion is what?
Good prices.
Price point. This model will not compete with that price point. So you may get the 3% rebate, but you're paying higher every week. So you're not coming out ahead, but you are supporting a mission, and that has value.
So how do they get to the price point of something like a Kroger or?
You're
Food
talking
Lion?
about how do they win the price point battle?
Yeah. do
They never can win the price point battle.
What if they combine forces with other food co-ops?
Where?
You're asking me where?
You tell me where there's another food co-op locally.
I'm sure there are other food co-ops in the country.
You're going to combine forces with a food co-op in Allentown, Pennsylvania? How do the economies of scale and the delivery and transportation infrastructures align to pass on price point savings to the customers?
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I-
But could they not, with enough
Deep Throat offers perspective to your point, to Judah's point. There are national food co-ops that you can join forces with. Okay? There's some commentary from number one in the family. But if anyone, we should be clear, if anyone that's watching the program believes that this is going to be
yeah, they're not going to beat anyone else's prices.
yeah, right. Dude, the Market Street Market right next to our office on the corner of Market Street and 4th in downtown Charlottesville, loves the fact that there's a grocery store here.
Mm-hmm.
Because when this grocery store, which is literally next to where I'm sitting,
Yep.
when it was not here, downtownites, downtown goers, downtownites, what do we call ourselves?
Ourselves.
Downtownites had to go to Reed's. Or had to go to what? Probably the closest one was the Kitty on the base of Pantops, right? From here?
Yeah,
Isn't the Kitty the closest?
probably.
But you go to Market Street Market for select items.
Yeah.
I went there to buy some coffee for the studio because we had an abundance of inflow of clients coming in. There was a little tiny pack, like the tiniest pack of coffee ever. And it was $19. Where I could buy the biggest tub of coffee ever for like $11. I don't even know what the price is. My wife does the shopping. I think it's $11. I know it's like $19 over here. I was like, what is this?
That is generally the case when you get a smaller.
There was a time, there still is a time. I will never forget. You know what one of my biggest concerns in life are? This is genuinely some of the things that I think about at night at 2 a.m. because I sleep 4 hours a night. Okay? My wife and I are on opposite sleep schedules. She needs 8 to 10 hours. I sleep 4 hours. One of the things that I think about at 2 o'clock in the morning, legitimately, okay? Mike Kochis texts me. He says, I never get offered free coffee when I'm in your studio, Jerry. Just saying. Chief Kochis, I love you. I saw him today. We said hello to each other. He's the George Clooney of policing. I need to offer you coffee next time you're here. I have offered you Macallan 12 from the bar. And Chief Kochis says, Jerry, I'm in uniform. I'm on the clock. I'm not taking that right now. What are you talking about? Thank you for the offer, my friend. I love that man. He knows I love that guy. I appreciate you listening to the show, Chief Kochis. I sincerely mean this, okay? I think about at 2 o'clock in the morning, our two sons, a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old, do they think this life they live is a life that was not earned through tremendous sacrifice? I should put it differently. To get to this point with this 7-year-old and the 3-year-old, the amount of sacrifice made is I can't even struggle to put in perspective. I'll try. I remember launching this business nearly 18 years ago and taking my life savings. I was working for the Daily Progress, NBC 29, and ESPN Radio, writing a story every day for the newspaper that appeared in print, doing 2 TV shows where I was the front man and the executive producer on NBC 29 on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings, while hosting a talk radio show on 8 or 9 ESPN affiliates 6 or 7 days a week. I was busting my ass and working like 85 hours a week. I was well compensated. And I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to go into business for myself. I had 18 years ago cobbled together somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000 savings. And I'm going to take this money and I'm going to use this as the baseline to launch this business. I didn't get a single client for 6 months. Not 6 months. The condo that's a rental at the Villas at Southern Ridge, I was on the cusp of losing, to the point I had to take this 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo and beg my friends who were in between leases to move in and rent a room from me for $400 a month, 2 friends at $800 each a month, to help cover the mortgage. The sacrifice was so significant. Not only did we had to welcome or beg our friends, my friends, to live in the adjoining rooms at $400 a month, okay? But I was going to the Panda Garden Buffet that was across from where U-Haul was. What is that, Emmett Street? It's now torn down. It was next to Carmelo's, across from Lambeth Commons, the UVA on-grounds housing. It was a Chinese food restaurant, and they had a $4.95 buffet. I went to this buffet with Ziploc bags in my pocket, and when the kind Asian ladies were not watching me, I went to the buffet, got heaps of food on plate, and scraped the General Tso's and the fried rice and the egg rolls into plastic Ziploc bags and shoved half a dozen of those bags into a JanSport backpack. And that was what I ate for 3 days and what I fed to my dog, because we could not buy Purina dog food. And now these kids are growing up and they're on their iPhones. They go to a private school. The expectation can be nauseating sometimes. Oh, I'm going to get this, or the candy. I said, no, you're not. There's 0 chance you're going to have this. And it's this fine line as a parent of like trying to manage children's mindsets and keeping them from being spoiled, while also, I was having this conversation with Dr. Wayne Fry yesterday, the pastor at Faith Christian International, in this studio after Jeff Gaffney's show. Yeah. He said, my wife and I, Dr. Fry and his wife, they came to an agreement that they have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. And they want their 2 boys and the girl to start their life on their parents' shoulders, while starting their lives, instead of starting their lives on the ground or on the level that their parents started their lives on. Yeah. And it's like this fine line. It's like with the homeless population. I am all for giving the houseless population a hand up, like picking them up and helping them figure things out. But not a hand out where here's some free money. Or I will never do that. Yeah. Never will I do that. I walk by the downtown mall. It used to be, do you have any change? Now it's, do you have $5? Yeah. They ask me, do you have $5? I said, no, I don't carry any money with me. It's 2025. He goes, well, you can Venmo me if you'd like. And he pulls out an iPhone 16. He literally said, I just got a new iPhone. Before that, I had an iPhone 10. I'm looking at this dude sitting at Draft Tap Room. He goes, well, you can Venmo me the $5. I look at his phone, and it's 6 models newer than mine. My point is this. Managing expectations is paramount to managing quality of life and having enjoyment in life. Comparison is the thief of joy. We know that. Comparison is the thief of joy. So with CVille, we need to help them manage expectations. 24 months from now is a huge runway. $4 million is an astronomical amount of money that you have to raise. And this co-op that's coming to market, it's not going to have price points for groceries, for provisions, that are more affordable than the kitty that's 2 miles away. But the value proposition is you can walk to it. And that does have value. Yeah. That does have value. And I'm going to close on this. For the viewers and listeners that are watching this program, I want them to get this grocery store. Comments are coming in quickly. We have print, radio, and television all watching the show. Conan Owens got some comments of Sir Speedy of Central Virginia. He says, Cherry Avenue grocery store will face serious headwinds. We'll need $4 million in startup costs. Then they need to sell memberships and then get the members to provide free labor. Not sure if the government or some private benefactor will cough up the $4 million.
Yeah.
Then he highlights, why do we not have remote learning during these snow days? They spent all that money on the infrastructure for remote learning. Why doesn't the remote learning still happen during snow days? That's a great question. Instead, my maniacs are, you should see, one of my friends, I was texting back and forth with one of my buddies, an inner circle friend. I said, how's it going over there? He said, Jerry, our family's hanging on by a thread right now. Judah, look at Judah right over there. That's the smile right there, Judah Wickhauer, of a man that's got a good life. Look at that smile right there.
I was thinking back to all the times that you think we have snow days here.
Dude.
I went through junior high and high school in Maine.
Yeah, 100%. I totally get it. My wife and I had this conversation here. This is the conversation we had. When we were growing up, this is another, I'd walk 10 miles one way barefoot uphill to get to school. But viewers and listeners, remember snow days when we were growing up? We legitimately would leave once the phone call was made. Once we called the hotline. Remember it was a hotline?
In Maine, it was...
they called you?
Turn on the radio.
Okay. Maine, you turn on the radio. Us, it was on TV. Let's just hope it's not that Josh guy from NBC 29. Goodness gracious, that guy gives me the willies. Okay? He gave the willies to a lot of people himself, and I'm going to leave it at that. That meteorologist, Judah's like, that's a joke right on the rated R line right there. I'm going to leave it alone. Okay. We called the hotline, and once the message was on the hotline, we literally put our snow gear on, and we walked outside, and we played in the snow, sledding up and down the slope, and we didn't come back inside till dinner time, like as the nightfall was coming in.
Yeah.
Now the kids, they go out, they sled a couple of runs, they come back in, they say they're too cold. My nose is cold, my finger's cold, my toes are cold, my ears are cold. It's the wussification of this generation. Our kids included. Our kids included. Holly Foster is watching the program. Please have Chief Kotches come by the show, and when he is out of uniform for a visit, pour him a Macallan 12. Hold on.
Nice.
Let's you hold the show here.
Yeah. Oh, man. Snow days were great. I loved snow days. I mean, there was just something special about waking up early, seeing that snow streaming down past your window, and then running to turn on the radio to see if you got the day off.
Holly Foster's watching the show, and Henrico, Chief Kotches, she gifted us this fantastic bottle of Macallan 12 Scotch. This is some of the best juice possible. When you are out of uniform, sir, we will enjoy some Chief Kotches, some Macallan 12 with you, Chief Kotches. Courtesy of Holly Foster.
100%.
It is some of the smoothest pour you will ever have. He probably knows it and already has had it himself. Keith Maupin watching the program. If you had asked the owners at the Panda Garden buffet your situation, they may have let you have the leftovers at the end of the night. There's no doubt in my mind, Keith Maupin, that they would have. They were such kind women. And why this story continues to resonate with me about taking and I did it on multiple occasions, the food from the lunch buffet is because of the guilt, the absolute guilt that I felt. Mm-hmm. But it was guilt managed with survival. Like, that's what it was at that point.
Yeah.
I say this multiple times on the program. There's been like 2 or 3, I'd say there's 3 that I know of, 3 decisions that I know. Any business owner, entrepreneur, or risk taker understands this. Heck, you probably have done this in love in some capacity, viewers and listeners. There's been 3 like turning point decisions made in my life to this point that were either make or break. And those 3 decisions were made with some risk that was hedged by some insight that I knew or some analysis that I did on the fly, or some instinct, whatever you want to call it, gut feeling, okay? And they went my way. Those 3 critical decisions went my way. But there were 3 points in my life that it could have gone either way. Vanessa Parkhill watching the broadcast. All right, a lot we got to get to. John Blair's photo on screen. He wants us to discuss this. He says, second, this is no criticism of whoever is left at the Daily Progress, but Lee destroyed the paper to the point that the Cavalier Daily has surpassed it, not only for UVA news, but for local news. Here's a good question for you and the listeners. Rank the CVille legacy media institutions: the Daily Progress, the Cavalier Daily, NBC 29, CBS 19, WINA, CVille Weekly, and the Crozet Gazette. I want to caveat this comment by saying this. I am in the midst of having conversation and negotiation with representatives from Lee Enterprises to reposition their newsroom in a different location. That's the extent of what I can say now. But they're looking to move to a different location. The extent of what I can say now with Lee. I will say this. The Charlottesville radio group that's now transitioned into the Charlottesville Media Group, this platform, CVille Right Now, which is led by Mike Barber, the former sports writer from the Richmond Times-Dispatch and the former sports writer from the Harrisonburg Daily News Record, CVille Right Now is doing a really good job.
No doubt.
They churn 6 to 7 quality stories, and I'm not saying it's investigative, in-depth journalism, but it's certainly better than press release regurgitation, which is what we're seeing on NBC 29 and CBS 19.
Yeah.
CVille Right Now is probably, along with Sean Tubbs, your local news leaders. We, I want to emphasize this again, are not in the news business. We're in the entertainment, education, and enlightening business, and we do it by offering commentary on the news cycle. We're not news reporters. Yeah. We're commentators, content creators. We don't want to be news reporters. We're content creators and commentators. And frankly, we're doing this as a way to position the firm, our divisions in the firm, in the forefront of the conversation, which then creates deal flow for us on the back end. It just happened to take off because it's a content desert locally. Mm-hmm. And Judah's really good at doing this. How would you rank them?
Man, I mean, I'd need more time to think about it, but certainly CVille Right Now is up there. I mean, Sean Tubbs is a force unto himself.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable!
I would say that CVille Tomorrow is doing a really good job. The articles are a little more sparse, but when they decide to report on something, they don't cut back. They go all in on whatever it is, and especially like Erin O'Hare, she does a great job. They're extremely thorough in their reporting, and yeah, Cavalier Daily, they are certainly strong. Of course, the focus is generally more on the school, unsurprisingly, but they too are giving it their all, getting the information, and not just paraphrasing something they read for like a 3 or 4 short paragraph reiteration.
My issue with Charlottesville Tomorrow, the news nonprofit, is this: it's woke journalism, and I'll go ahead and say it, and I'm going to catch heat for saying that. It's journalism backed by grant money associated with a agenda. And the grant money that's funding CVille Tomorrow and its agenda is one that is not journalistically neutral. It's motivated by DEI and other woke elements. And my second issue with Charlottesville Tomorrow is the volume of content that's created. It's not voluminous enough.
Yeah.
Okay. CBS 19 and NBC 29. They legitimately are employing reporters that this is their first job out of college. And if they watch the show, NBC 29 and CBS 19 reporters watch this show and source news for their 30-second, 90-second, 120-second segments on the news class. I will give you a word of advice to the reporters that are NBC 29 and CBS 19, and you already know this, but you should hear this. If you are at this job at NBC 29 and CBS 19, where you're making somewhere between $12 and $15 an hour and working nights, weekends, and holidays, if you're employed by CBS 19 or NBC 29 for any more than 24 months, you should immediately get out of the news business and find another job and find another career. You need to be at this job for 12 to 24 months so you can build a resume and climb to a bigger market. If you have eclipsed the 24-month window, you are failure at your career. Okay? There may be exceptions to that. There are exceptions to that. I'll put this in perspective. Did you know Anita Dunbar, readers of the Daily Progress, do you remember the name Anita Dunbar? Anita Dunbar was the op-ed columnist in the Daily Progress. She wrote I think it's called the op-ed. When you went in the A section and the inside, and the Daily Progress offered its take on something in the news. It wasn't Brian McKenzie. It was Anita Dunbar. She was offering the commentating position of the Daily Progress as a whole based on the news cycle that day.
Opinion of the editor.
Opinion of the editor. She was the writer. One of op-ed. One of the marquee positions at the Daily Progress when I was there, and I was there for like 6 years, I believe. I'd have to look at I'd have to look at my LinkedIn. Anita Dunbar had one of the marquee positions, and when she was not doing the work as the op-ed writer, she was working the makeup counter at Dillard's in Fashion Square Mall, or Belk in Fashion Square Mall, where she was working 30 to 40 hours a week at the makeup counter, slinging makeup. All of us, a lot of people don't realize this. When the Daily Progress was owned by Media General, this is before Media General sold to Buffett and Buffett's media division, and before Buffett's media division sold to Lee. This is when Media General owned it, was after the Worrell family owned it. Okay, when Media General was running the Daily Progress, the Richmond Times-Dispatch, and a bunch of other newspapers on the East Coast, the highest overall compensated employees at the Daily Progress were not the managing editor. The highest overall compensated employee was Lawrence McConnell, the publisher, who showed up to work every day in a Porsche 911, much to the disgust and bitterness of his employees that were scraping by. And the publisher shows up in a Porsche 911.
Yeah.
After the publisher was the managing editor, and the managing editor that was there when I was there was Lou Hatter, who's now a VDOT spokesman. He's retired as a VDOT spokesman. Oh, you're right. Jim Hingley is watching the program. Albemarle Commonwealth's attorney. Anita Shelburne is her name. Sorry, Jim Hingley. Anita Dunbar is a realtor. I got them confused. Actually did some business with, or Anita Dunbar's name came across my desk the other day. He's right. Anita Shelburne was working the makeup counter while being the op-ed columnist for the Daily Progress. But when I was working there, Lawrence McConnell was the publisher. 911 Porsche would show up to the newsroom parking lot. Every news reporter that was making $10 an hour looked at him getting out of his 911 Porsche and wanted to spit on him. There was utter disdain with him and the rest of the staff. After that was the managing editor, and the also managing editor we had was Lou Hatter, who was a roll-up-your-sleeves kind of guy, tie-at-half mask, pencil in his ear, worked his ass off, literally was there till the paper was coming out of the printing press. Worked hard, retired recently as a VDOT spokesman. He was replaced by McGregor McCants, who was the business editor at the Roanoke Times. McGregor McCants quit the Daily Progress because it was a very difficult spot to work, and is now working at UVA as a spokesman. But my point is this. A lot of people don't realize when the paper was printing every day in like the 2006 to 2010, 2011 range, the highest paid employees, overall compensation, not just by the newspaper, were the people that were working in the sports department. Jerry Ratcliffe, me, Jay Jenkins, Andrew Joyner, Whitey Reed, Chris Wright. The reason we were the highest overall compensated journalists, not just by the Daily Progress pay, was because of the freelance. When I was working for the Daily Progress, I was earning a salary from hosting a 6-day-a-week talk show on 8 ESPN radio affiliates, while also earning a salary at NBC 29. Jerry Ratcliffe was freelancing for magazines and newspapers all over the country. So was Jay Jenkins. So was Whitey Reed. Because of sports, we were able to cobble together a bunch of different freelancing gigs and revenue streams to offer sustainability, livelihood sustainability. The other reporters could not. That's my point. If you're in this market and you're here more than 24 months, you should find a different career. A lot of them do. I would say, John Blair, to answer your question, it would be CVille right now 1. CVille right now and Sean Tubbs in the first slot. Daily Progress in the second slot. Third slot, there's huge drop after that. What's the third slot? Do you put CVille Tomorrow in there? There's just not enough volume to come out of the newsroom.
Yeah.
Do you put CBS 19 or NBC 29 when all they're doing is regurgitating press releases in 30-second segments? I mean, it's probably Cavalier Daily and Daily Progress in the 2 slot. One slot is CVille right now and Sean Tubbs. 2 slot is Daily Progress and Cavalier Daily. 3 slot might even be UVA Today. 4 slot might be Neil Williamson and the Free Enterprise Forum. After that, maybe CVille Tomorrow, just because the reporting they do actually has meat, and then followed by NBC 29 and CBS 19.
Yeah.
I mean, is that how you see it? Just being, when you listen to the show, because I shoot it straight. Shoot it straight gets me in trouble on this program all the time.
I don't know if I rate Daily Progress as highly as you do. It's got it's got some great writing from Haas Spencer and a few other people, but oftentimes I feel it's lacking.
I think Hawes
elevates it high enough to
Hawes, bar none, is the best overall journalist in the market. I think Sean Tubbs is one of the best journalists overall in the market too. But I think Sean's a one-man show.
Yeah.
There's limitations to that. And you also Sean's reporting is phenomenal. I read Sean's stuff every day. But you have to ask, how sustainable is this? Pumping 2,000 words every single day.
Yeah.
While watching live streams at his house or where he's traveling. On policy and supervisor and council meetings.
Yeah.
And planning commission meetings. Without really interviewing anyone. And not having any overall advertising. And relying solely on pay-for-play membership.
Yeah.
All right, next headline at the 125 marker of the program with an extremely busy afternoon. And Keith Maupin, you're exactly right. If I had told the Panda Garden ladies about that, they absolutely would have helped. What do you got, Judah?
Tom Perriello is back.
Give them the 45-second rundown of Tommy P. Tom Perriello. The Perriello name is iconic locally, by the way. I mean, absolutely iconic locally. Give them the who, what, when, where, why.
He is back in the news. He's decided that it's time to. He's decided that this is an all-hands-on-deck moment, and so the former Virginia congressman has announced his comeback candidacy for the 5th district.
Democrat?
I
Mike Pruitt competition.
Could be.
Pruitt's running for the 5th, right?
Has he fully announced?
Of course he is. I'm
all
getting
in on
text
that?
messages constantly from Mike Pruitt's campaign asking for money. Somewhere this morning, read a couple of paragraphs from the story.
Okay, well, this is right on point because of what we're talking about, what we've been talking about. One of his quotes is, "Families can't afford groceries." And he goes on to say, because Republicans in Congress, like John McGuire, won't stand up to Trump's tariffs. And he says they're prioritizing tax cuts for huge corporations over cutting the cost of health care and housing. He also says that things are out of control. People are angry and confused, and he thinks they have a right to be.
I'm going to tell you this. Somewhere Mike Pruitt woke up. He woke up at his house in the Scottsville district because he's the Scottsville district supervisor. Mike Pruitt, who I have tremendous respect for. I don't see eye to eye politically with him, but I appreciate his ambition. He's extremely likable. He's extremely intelligent. I appreciate Mike Pruitt's military service. Has a UVA law degree. He's passionate. He's got the gift of human connection. I respect Mike Pruitt tremendously. Great dresser, Mike Pruitt. Okay. This morning, Mike Pruitt woke up and saw the news about Tom Perriello running for Congress, and he realizes, Jesus, not only am I running in the 5th district in what is historically a very red district, and I'm very blue, but now I have to run against a borderline institution in the Perriello family and Tom Perriello.
It should be noted, I think, that Perriello only held the spot for one term.
One term, and that was a surprising upset. And you know how Tom Perriello won that term? In large part, you know how Tom Perriello won that term? Barack Obama came to Charlottesville and campaigned on behalf of Tom Perriello on the downtown mall. Barack Obama.
I guess that'll do it.
Okay, and when you talk about some of the most iconic politicians of the last generation, iconic, affable, approachable, likable, Barack Obama's atop the list. My politics are very different than Barack Obama's. And whether you're a libertarian, Republican, Democrat, or politically agnostic, you can give me this. Barack Obama has the gift of political likability.
He's one of the most charismatic politicians we've seen in a while.
Ever, period.
I don't know about ever.
Give me politicians off the top of your head as charismatic of him in the past generation. Past generation.
That's very different.
Okay, past generation. Who do you put on that short list? Maybe William Clinton?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Who else?
There aren't many.
Would you say Trump is charismatic? There's a difference between charismatic and being omnipresent. We understand the difference, right?
Yeah.
Charisma and being the loudest person there. Our 7-year-old, there's a saying that we've been doing now that's been helping our 7-year-old. The loudest person in the room is the dumbest person in the room. The loudest person in the room is the dumbest person in the room.
Very often the case.
It's starting to resonate with him. The loudest person in the room is the dumbest person in the room. It's resonating with him. Big difference between Obama and Trump. And I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I generally do not associate it with either. Next headline. What do you got?
Oh, let's see.
Bill McChesney, thank you for watching the program. He says Tom Perriello is a nice young man. And he highlights Slick Willie Clinton as being as charismatic as Barack. Yeah, 100%. What's the next one you got?
Next, we have the private equity.
More deal flow on this. We can talk about it now. Garnett Station Partners are the money behind Flagstop, which was founded in 1981. Flagstop Car Wash. Flagstop Car Wash is Richmond's biggest car wash chain. Flagstop Car Wash purchased the Clean Machine on Pantops next to the Kitty
Yeah.
by Freebridge, and Aqua Wash in Zion's Crossroads. Flagstop Car Wash is aggressively purchasing car washes and rolling it into the Flagstop Car Wash portfolio. Flagstop Car Wash, ladies and gentlemen, is no joke. You're talking an aggressive pursuit to have 40 to 50 car washes in their purview, in their portfolio in the very near future. They already have 30 locations open or in the process of opening by the end of this year, and they're looking to expand beyond the 12 location goal the publicly stated, the company stated publicly last year. You're talking a company that has 30 locations in around the Commonwealth, and it's backed by Garnett Station Partners, the private equity firm. Private equity aggressively pursuing car washes locally. I ask the question without revealing too much information, because I have to tread the line on this show of non-disclosures, confidentiality, deal flow, and being a part of things. But I ask the question, why did another local car wash player, Tiger,
Not block them.
not keep Garnett Station Partners and Flagstop from purchasing these two locations? And I'll leave it at that. Next headline, what do you got?
Trouble for the hemp industry. With the recent problem with the government deciding to stay home for, what was it, how many weeks?
Weeks.
A long time. The bill that got them back to work, sadly, depending on your perspective, I suppose, has included a ban on hemp products, which is causing a lot of people, especially in a state like Virginia, that had recently started to open its doors to hemp.
You know what's
and
wild to
hemp
me?
Products.
You know what's wild to me? When Ralph Northam was the governor, Ralph Northam,
Mm-hmm.
we were on this like jet rocket for hemp and cannabis.
Yeah.
We were literally, and this was about 4 years ago, because Youngkin's term's about up.
Yeah.
Cannabis and hemp were on a locomotive jet train. And people were popping up shops everywhere and building infrastructure and brands, and
Yeah.
this was going to be the gold rush. 4 years later, look at it.
It's a fight between different ideologies, different. I'm not sure why we keep pushing back on this. It seems like the genie is out of the bottle at this point. This was, and for those thinking that this is just about THC and marijuana, this was seen as somewhat of a, what's the word I'm looking for, a savior for the alcohol industry, non-alcoholic beverages, with the percentage of Americans drinking alcohol falling to like 54% of its previous levels. THC seltzers are starting to become kind of like a lifeline for the producers of alcohol. Not to mention a bunch of the other stuff going on, from like people trying to work out hempcrete. I believe that's a hemp-derived concrete, among all the other things, including, of course, the THC and marijuana head shops. But this is big business, and a lot of people are having to pivot with the introduction of this portion of the bill.
Pivot was one of the words for COVID. Uncertainty was the word for this year.
Yeah.
What's the word for next year? I mean, the small business owner is constantly having to reinvent themselves. Next headline, what do you got? Is this the sports one? Snow day food?
I think
John
this-
says his snow day food is spaghetti. Your snow day food, Judah, is?
Man, yeah, soup is a good one. I mean, it's kind of generic. I mean, definitely some hot cocoa, some soup if you got it.
My snow day food is scotch.
That's not food. How about I would say really good snow day food is a grilled cheese sandwich and
Turn into an old man. My snow day food is scotch.
and nice warm rich tomato soup.
Yeah, Hardy. Our son had that yesterday.
Nice.
Grilled cheese with tomato soup.
I would love.
We
a
got
grilled
soup on the
cheese and
stove
some
right now.
tomato
It's
soup.
been feeding the family for a day and a half.
You got what?
Soup on the stove right now. It's been feeding the family for a day and a half.
It's one
Had-
of those kinds of soups.
I had shrimp Alfredo yesterday, courtesy of the better half. It was phenomenal.
Nice.
Spaghetti, I'll give you that. The grilled cheese, I'll give you that. The French onion soup, I think we're having that tonight. I'll give you that. Warm.
Something that sticks to your ribs.
Dude, I woke up this morning, it was 14 degrees.
Yeah.
Insane. It's December 9th. You know there's snow in the forecast Friday?
Sometimes
Insane.
Sometimes it comes. I remember I hadn't lived here that long, but it seemed to me that there was a cycle of the really big storms in Virginia. It was every 12 years or so.
Last headline, we didn't have the Jerry and Jerry show this morning. Hootie Ratcliffe under the weather. We hope Hootie Ratcliffe feels better. Huge fans of Jerry Ratcliffe here at the I Love CVille Network. That is why we didn't have the Jerry and Jerry show. Jerry Ratcliffe under the weather today. The basketball headline, the football headline, the UVA sports headline. UVA is one of 7 schools in the nation that are ranked in the top 25 in both football and men's basketball. Alabama 1, Arizona, BYU, Michigan, Texas Tech, Vanderbilt, and Virginia. One of 7.
Is there a look back on on whether or not that's ever happened before?
Yeah, that's happened before. Absolutely, that's happened before. Okay. And the poll that really matters is the end of the year polls, because that's where your true standing is. I'll close with this. The economic impact of a top 25 football team and a top 25 basketball team should not be underestimated. It's not just an economic impact on small business, on tourism, but it's an economic impact on real estate values. It's an economic impact on turning the downtown mall in the right direction. It's an economic impact on driving who moves to this market and chooses to call this market home after visiting. It's huge, ladies and gentlemen. Oak Valley Custom Hardscape's also huge. The upside for a custom hardscape at your house or your place of business is much more than return on investment. It's return on experience, return on life. Oak Valley Custom Hardscapes. They are who you choose for a hardscape at your home or your place of business. Oak Valley Custom Hardscapes. Judah Wickhauer on point today. My name is Jerry Miller. That's 70 minutes straight without stopping. Thank you kindly for joining us. So long, everybody.